What's going on, guys? Bank Robber Games here, more Fallout 3, Tale of Two Wastelands. And last episode when we left off, we did a really cool quest that's very easily missed, called Trouble on the Home Front. And that actually involves going back into Vault 101, but obviously things have changed quite a lot since we were last there at the start of the game. So I recommend going back and watching last episode if you haven't seen it, because it's very, very cool. And like I said, it's a quest that is very easily missed. But in between episodes, I did also go around the map and sell a bunch of our stuff and streamlined our loadout a little bit. Partly because there was a lot of stuff on our person that we weren't using, but also we're actually going to be starting a DLC today, and that is going to be Point Lookout. So we need to go down to the riverboat landing in order to get that started. But very interestingly, I'm actually going to be playing this DLC with a mod that I've never used before, and that's by Sweet 6shooter called Low Level Point Lookout, because in Fallout 3 and A Tale of Two Wastelands, Point Lookout had a habit of being very, very difficult. The enemies did ridiculous bonus damage to you and had ridiculous bonus damage resistance, so they were very, very tanky. So it should be a lot more balanced now, and along with that there's some other added features and even some added events, which is really, really cool. So the DLC overall shouldn't be too different from it being in vanilla. It should just be like slight little upgrades and more quality of life features more than anything else. So it'll be interesting for both of us to explore, and it's widely considered by many people as their favourite DLC or the best Fallout 3 DLC, and I can definitely see why. It's a very cool location that it adds. But in order to start the DLC, like I said, we need to head down to the riverboat landing, and I always recommend either going to the Citadel or the Arlington Library to get down there. We're going to go to the Arlington Library, because if we go this way, see the riverboat landing there on the compass, we can go down and get some enemies that I pointed out before. We do have to be careful though, because I think there's a very high level turret, or tends to be a high level turret, along with a merc that has a habit of carrying heavier weapons. Right, flamer this time. Looks like there's actually a sentry bot there. And looks like the Enclave has spawned in as well. Looks like they did a little bombing run for us. Quite interesting. Didn't remember that being a thing. Very cool though. And we will come back to loot this, but I want to know where that vertibird was going. Unless it does just sort of fly off. Might be the case. But yeah, after doing the Waters of Life quest that we did a couple of episodes ago, it does change the world state. So then Enclave will be seen deploying in the wasteland, and you'll have little interactions with them like that, which is very, very cool. And you can always go after their loot as well. So if you're feeling a little bit underpowered, wander around the wasteland, take out some Enclave, and then you should be able to gear up a little bit. Depending on how lucky you get, I guess.
Seat of the federal government, Washington, D.C., has been reduced to what is now
But I'm actually going to say goodbye to RL3.
RL3 is ready for...
And he'll go back to Canterbury Commons for us. Fortunately, it does mean we lose his perk, which is very, very useful, very powerful. But I don't think having a robot around with us is very fitting to the DLC. And that vertibird again. I'm just going to drop down a quick save and then investigate that vertibird a little bit. If there's anything interesting or worth checking out, I'll meet you guys over there. If not, I'll just carry on and we'll get into the DLC, the fantastic Point Lookout DLC. So I'll meet you guys back here in a second. So I did go and investigate the vertibird and where it sort of flew off to, but it does end up actually going off the edge of the map, so it doesn't look like you can follow it. It might just be related to the fact that there is a Enclave spawn point outside the Alexandria Arms. So that might be why there's that little event there. Pretty cool. I did forget about that. But as we come down here, there is this riverboat, which is really cool. And this is how we start the Point Lookout DLC. And this is definitely a sign of things to come with these Mirelurks here. There are always some Mirelurk corpses here where the ferryman's been here defending his little landing pad.
Are you going to Point Lookout? I need your help. My daughter stowed away on the Duchess Gambit a few weeks ago, and I've been worried sick ever since. I haven't heard anything from her, but if you're going there, could you look for her? Please, I'll do anything to help. Oh, bless you. Her name is Nadine, and she left a couple of weeks ago. Said she wanted to see the world. Silly little thing that she is. That Tobar said he dropped her off at Point Lookout, but who knows what's happened to her since then. I don't know if you can convince my little Nadine to come back, but just give her this note from me, would you?
So we do get this lady here wanting us to find her daughter. And this just gives us like another thread to get through the main quest of Point Lookout, really. But we will be bumping into Nadine later. And then when we come on the boat, we're going to want to talk to the ferryman.
Welcome, my friend. I am Tobar the ferryman, and this fine vessel is the Duchess Gambit. We're just back from Point Lookout, but it won't be long before we set off again. Interested? You look like a man who's been around the wastes, so I'll cut right to it. In Point Lookout, you'll find fresh-grown food, mysterious locales, and treasures as of yet unlooted. But keep your wits about you, because you'll find more than a few exotic critters and inhospitable locals. So stay here if you're not man enough. Ah, Nadine. Sprightly little tomboy with more curiosity than common sense, that one. Caused so much trouble on the trip that I probably would have thrown her overboard if she hadn't reminded me of myself at her age. Haven't seen her since we hit land at Point Lookout. But knowing her, I'll bet she's gotten herself in plenty of trouble. Down south, this side of the bay, there's a soggy strand of beach called Point Lookout. Oh, it's got it all. Ruins of ancient pleasure towns, mysterious swamps bristling with treasure, and all practically untouched by outsiders. But if you're curious, I could offer you a ride over to that faraway land. For a nominal fee, of course. Looking for fame and fortune? Hoping to cultivate the delicious punga fruit? Or just looking to run away from your life on these dreary shores?
So Tobar doesn't have many items to sell. He does sell some punga fruit, which we will come across as we go through Point Lookout, and does actually tie into the story, which is quite cool. But you do actually have to manually go into his shop and buy a boat ticket in order to travel to Point Lookout. But as far as I'm aware, as long as you have the caps, you can freely travel between Point Lookout and the capital Wasteland by purchasing other boat tickets and then just sleeping on the cot that we're about to be told about now.
Once you've got a ticket, just head into the cabin and settle in on the cot. We'll be there in no time. Whenever you're ready, just take a rest on the cot in the cabin. We'll be at Point Lookout in no time.
Yeah, quite a cool cabin. Mole rat rug. But like I said, if we sleep on the bed, we do get the option to travel to Point Lookout. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we can return at any point that we like, as long as we have the caps for a ticket. So we do get that really cool introductory cutscene. The locals on the beach there. The wild dogs running along the pier. And then there is that mansion with the smoke pouring out of it. Along with a lighthouse that's also worth investigating. Like I said, really cool intro. Very atmospheric.
Welcome to Point Lookout, my friend. The trip was fine. The weather's nice and damp, and everything out there looks pleasant as ever. Looks like nothing's changed since my last visit, except all that smoke I saw on the way in. Oh, nothing much, just old Calvert Mansion. Just a huge abandoned estate teeming with who knows what opportunities for profitable scavenging. You know, nothing much. I know I said Point Lookout was perfect for treasure hunters, but it's a rare day when you get a beacon like that. Good.
So it does give us the sort of start of the main quest to investigate the mansion. And then we have our first wild punga here that we can pick. If we look at the map, Point Lookout isn't the largest area, but there are plenty of different locations to explore. And on our compass, you might notice a couple of green ticks. And that is
Move along, please.
a nice vendor that's very convenient to have.
Well, hello there, young traveler. The fates had told me that I would receive a visitor today. But I'm being rude. I am Madame Panada, and this is Madame Panada's House of Wares. For all things a traveler needs, I am here to provide. Bullets, stim packs, armor, weapons, junk. If you need it, Madame Panada has already anticipated your need and procured it months ago. I knew that's why you came to me.
So she is going to be the main vendor of the DLC. I mean, she does sell the double-barrel shotgun as well, but we didn't get very lucky. And yeah, she's a general vendor, sells absolutely everything that you could ever need, which is really good. And then along with, as part of the low-level point lookout mod, it does include another mod that has a player home within this area, which is really, really cool. And you can purchase the seller home key to get access to that. Just going to buy some weapon mods from her, so when we do get the weapons of point lookout, we can make the most out of them. Very good vendor overall. Has a lot of parts for crafting as well, which is really useful. Tends to have a good selection of ammo. See, a little bit of an overpowered vendor really. So we're going to buy for now. Can also get her to repair things for you,
Is quite handy with
but her repair skill isn't very high. A weird critical hit there. As you can tell, point lookout definitely isn't a safe place, and there are all these buildings we can enter here, but we are going to get through that later on through the DLC and make sure to fully explore this island. And I'm pretty sure that is the seller home that you can buy the key from under there. There's loads and loads of creepy locations like this. If I remember correctly, this is involved with the quest, so we'll leave it for now. But if not, we'll make sure to come back here. We do also get the axe.
You done messed up now, outsider.
New weapon involved with point lookout. And without the low level point lookout mod, you don't actually get much chance to use it because of the damage resistance on the enemies is very, very high. So you're better off using something with, you know, that just does higher base damage. See some folks down on the beach there. So this is where that smoke was coming from.
You're no tribal. Get in here and help me fight these bastards off, goddammit.
And in Tale of Two Wastelands, they do have a tendency to have the 45 auto pistol on them. You can see this one's actually fully modded, which is quite cool. But this is actually a weapon that was introduced with one of the New Vegas DLCs, so we're not going to be using it until we come across that DLC. Just because I want to show everything off in a sort of like natural environment, if you will, and where it came from. And there's a bunch of containers all through the Calvert mansion that you can pick up. It's quite cool. You can actually end up making quite a lot of money through doing the point lookout DLC and picking everything up.
I don't know who you are, but you need to help me if you want to stay alive. They've been at it all night. I think they're just about to breach the inner walls. Follow me. I'm going to go check it out. It looks like they're coming in from somewhere upstairs. Hurry, follow me.
Looks like there's someone here we can't actually loot, which is a bit annoying.
Go
Not
through
the end of
these
the world,
doors
though.
and up the stairs. Find where they are coming in and stop them. I'll be keeping an eye on the cameras down here. Hurry.
See, they're still quite tough though. I thought this guy had a double-barrel shotgun on him, but that's not the case. A bit annoying. Here is the double-barrel shotgun. Absolutely rubbish condition though. It's very, very cool. I always love the way that guy just falls through the wall like that. Yeah, normally this is much tougher to the point of it being a little bit ridiculous without the low levels point of calc mods that we're using. Seems to be doing the job so far. Just makes weapons feel like they should within the DLC. And mod our double barrel shotgun. See, even at the rubbish condition that it's in, it's very powerful, but then you do only get those 2 shots before you have to reload. Actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the Haunted Mansion in Time Splitters Future Perfect, strangely. And they did have some throwing hatchets on them, but I'm not quite sure where they went. This, it was just that one we picked up. Actually, know how powerful they are. They're not quite as strong as a throwing spear, but has high DPS.
Hey!
And with the shotgun choke, double barrel shotgun's actually ridiculously accurate. That's useful even over long range, which is really, really cool. But then you do also get the fact that it is a shotgun, so you can use it without aiming in at close range.
Okay, now hurry up and seal that hole. It looks like an explosion should do the trick. Maybe there's something explosive near the hole you can shoot.
And we did also pick up the Eva action rifle, which is another weapon exclusive to point lookout. Just going to show off the vanilla sights. It's basically exactly the same as the Lincoln repeater, but just doesn't have any engraving or anything on it. And it also uses 10mm ammo rather than 45 ammo, so it's much more common and easy to come by. We have the improved parts, makes it have like a brass look to it, which is really cool. And we do also have the improved sights. Don't really change the look of it too much, but it does decrease the spread there for you. Like Desmond just said, looks like an explosion will do the trick. There is canister there.
Hey, over here. Good job blocking off that hole. Hurry and get in here. Looks like they're about to breach from the east wing.
Looks like Desmond's on a one-man war. Over here there are some supplies we can steal. There are those supplies downstairs as well, but we'll get those later. But looking at how long this episode has been, and the fact that there's still quite a lot to do as part of this quest, I think here's a good place to wrap up this episode. And then next episode, obviously, we'll carry on defending Desmond's mansion and looking at the path of chaos he just blazed. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and been enjoying the series so far. If you have been enjoying the series, please like and subscribe for more, and then that way you won't miss out on anything. Also, any mods that I've mentioned throughout the video will be linked down in the description below, so you guys can try them out for yourself. So far, I would highly recommend the low level point lookout mod. It seems to be doing the trick and making weapons sort of feel like they should, and the difficulty being much more in line with the rest of Fallout 3. But then the enemies still seem to be like a decent level, so they can potentially offer quite a bit of challenge, especially if you come here at a lower level. So can't wait to see what the rest of the mod has in store for us. But thanks again for watching, always appreciate having you guys here, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.